Hi everyone, I'm Livi and today I'll be reading Bambi. Bambi. That morning was one of the nicest there had been for weeks. The air was warm and the creatures of the forest were emerging from their burrows. "Friends, the Prince of the Forest is born," squeaked the squirrel, leaping from branch to branch. "Come and see, follow me." Together they all made their way towards the clearing. Crouched next to a mother doe was a newborn baby. He was a handsome form, and he was looking around curiously. "What's his name?" the owl asked the mother doe. "His name is Bambi," the mother doe replied. "Look, he wants to stand up," cried the rabbit. The little fawn under the watchful eye of his mother was indeed trying to stand up, but with little success. Finally, with a huge effort, he managed to get upright and began to take his first steps. "Bravo!" chirped the little bird. "Keep going, don't be afraid." In a matter of days, the fawn had made friends with all the little animals. Bambi was growing up in the big forest, discovering new places every day with his friends. "Bambi, look over there, it's a bear in his den." "What a sleepyhead," laughed the rabbit. "Why don't we wake him up?" cried the little hedgehog. "No, don't bother him, leave him alone," whispered the butterfly. One morning, on the bank of a pond where he had gone to quench his thirst, Bambi met a young girl fawn. He was struck by how lovely she looked and asked her what her name was. "My name is Feline," she replied. "Feline, do you want to play?" Bambi and Feline soon made friends and ran through the forest all afternoon. Bambi felt happy when he was near her. The summer went by, then the trees began to lose their leaves. One day snow fell. The owl was already safe in his hole in the trunk of a huge tree. "I'm freezing, Mama," cried Bambi. "Winter is here," his mother replied. "That's why it's cold." The hunters are here," announced the rabbit breathlessly. The sound of gunshots rang through the forest. "We have to flee to higher ground," cried Bambi's mother. "Why, Mother? Humans are very cruel. Follow me, Bambi." Bambi and his mother began to flee into the distance. Bang! The fawn was startled by a loud gunshot. His mother had been hit by a bullet. "Run, my son, run as fast as you can and don't stop," she called, and then she fell to the ground. His heart heavy with sorrow, the fawn ran and ran until he was exhausted. He stopped to catch his breath. Before him stood a great buck watching him. "Where's my mother?" Bambi asked. "The hunters have taken her away. It's the last you'll see of her. But don't worry, I'll protect you now." From that moment, a new life began for Bambi. The great buck was the king of the herd. He taught Bambi to survive on his own and showed him all the secrets of the forest. "Look, Bambi, those are wolves. They're very dangerous when they're hungry. They're our greatest enemy next to humans." Spring arrived and the forest came alive with color. Bambi had turned into a big, strong buck. Around this time, the creatures of the forest were finding their mates. The buck rabbit had met a lovely doe rabbit. "And now, if you want to start a family," said the owl, "you need to find your soulmate." Bambi didn't hear what the owl had said. He was distracted by the arrival of a charming doe. "Hello, Bambi. Do you remember me?" It was Feline. Bambi gazed at her adoringly. She was beautiful. They fell in love, and from that moment they were always together. It was a happy time for Bambi and Feline, but one morning a young buck approached them and, challenging Bambi, shouted, "Get out of my territory!" "This place belongs to everyone," replied Bambi. "I'm going to chase you away and live here with Feline," threatened the buck. The pair locked in fierce battle. It seemed as if Bambi might lose, but looking at Feline gave him courage. He hurled himself at his rival, his antlers striking a mighty blow. The arrogant buck fell to the ground, then fled, never to be seen again. Now Bambi and Feline weren't two timid fawns anymore. They had grown up. Feline ran, agile and supple, through the forest. Bambi followed to play, but also to protect her. One night a terrible thing happened. The air filled with the acrid smell of smoke, and soon the forest was on fire. The animals were frightened by the crackling flames and the awful heat. Bambi set to work raising the alarm. "To get to the island away from the smoke," cried the young buck, and with great courage he ran right into the flames to lead the most frightened animals out of danger. Then at last, worn out and nearly suffocated, he made it to the island. "You're here at last! I was so worried," cried Feline. Then all the animals waited together until the fire had gone out. Once the fire was out, slowly but surely life returned to the forest. Spring came anew, and with it a lovely surprise. Twin fawns were born. Bambi and Feline looked on adoringly as their little babies began to leap. "Go on, run, have no fear," twittered a little bird to the baby girl as a baby boy chased a butterfly. Bambi heard a rustling, ran to see what it was, and saw the great buck. "Bambi, I'm proud of you. I've grown old and I'm tired. It's time for me to retire. From now on, you will take care of the creatures of this forest. Farewell, my son." And with these words, the old buck vanished into the undergrowth. From that moment, Bambi was the new king of the forest, keeping danger at bay and teaching his children to live bravely and peacefully. The end.